Hello and welcome to Sweet Mountain Crafts Fibercast number 29. My name is Carista Lowe and I have so much to share with you in knitting, weaving, crocheting, and just lots of life updates. So I'm so glad you've come to join me today. I hope that you find something here that you love, and I'm just so excited to share all the new updates. Let's get started. Thank you to any of you that have decided to join me today. I have a wealth of information to share because it has been so long since I've been able to podcast. 2024 was a roller coaster of a year. We had some incredible highs, some incredible moments, but some real difficulties and some real struggles. Most of that was in my personal life, not so much in my business life. I've actually been very thankful for my businesses. I have two different businesses that keep me busy constantly. So I have Sweet Mountain Crafts, which is my hand dyeing business. We're in my dye studio here today. And then I also have Wyoming Yarn and Fiber, which is my yarn store here in Cody, Wyoming. And it's just on the other side of the wall, just behind you all. So I am so blessed to be able to have both businesses housed in one building. And on any given day, I am running either or both. So it can be hard to kind of keep the balls up in the air, keep things juggling the right direction, but at the same time, I love it so much that I enjoy doing all the things that I have to do for both businesses. Thankfully, for Sweet Mountain Crafts, I have an incredible studio sidekick, Sharon, who helps keep things going here. She keeps me on task as well as keeps things moving forward. She measures a lot of the yarn, twists and labels most of my yarn, washes most of my yarn, and then even helps with some of the dyeing process. And then in my retail store, I have two regular helpers. I have Venla, who is a regular employee and helps run the shop, especially when I can't be here. And then I also have Amy, who stops in and helps at least once a week or so, and is just such an encouragement to me as well. So again, I'm so thankful for these ladies. I could not do this without their help, but it does all of this keep me very, very busy. My own making this year has been a lot of fun. I've had a lot of various tasks and activities that I've participated in. So I have sometimes been participating at the shop in knit-alongs or crochet-alongs, but I've also been leading classes, and with those events, having lots of different times that I'm continuing to make. Now, I do also make on my own personal time. I enjoy making projects of my own. I love the fiber arts world, so I kind of dabble in all the areas. I love carding fiber and spinning it. I love weaving with all kinds of yarns. I love dyeing, obviously, the yarn and working with my own hand-dyed yarns. I love knitting, crocheting. I love sewing. So you'll see a plethora of different projects here on this podcast, on this vlog, I should say. And at any given time, you never know which one I might be participating in. Let's start by taking a look at some of my crocheting that I did this last year. I worked on this project and had so much fun with it. This was actually a crochet along at my shop that I did with a number of other ladies. This is the Squared Up jacket by Earth Yarns using their unique fingering colorways. The choices that people chose for this project were wide and varying as far as the yarns that each person used, and it made it so much fun to see this jacket worked up in a variety of different colorways and just in so many unique styles. So I actually enjoyed not only the work of this project. You can see these are granny clusters that end up making a cardigan. I'll show the finished result here in a moment. But I also just enjoyed the process of crocheting with a fairly good sized group of ladies on this project. Next up, while not knitting or crochet related, I did want to throw in a video montage here of images from a trip that my husband and I took for our 25th wedding anniversary to Spain. We had a fabulous time. We went to Madrid, Seville, and Barcelona and just got to see so many incredible things. It was such an incredible blessing just to be able to spend that time with my husband, Brad. And then also to be able to get to enjoy visiting yarn shops from another country and getting a chance to, of course, work on projects all through the entirety of the trip. So these pictures are just a little bit of some of what we got to see and do.
Stare contigo todo el día y toda la noche. No puedo dejarte pasar gente todo el día y toda la noche. Siempre estaré contigo.
The next project that I'm working on here was a knit along at my shop. This was done using Peyton's Sierra, which I won as a prize from a group of online friends, and it was actually shipped to me from Australia, but it's a beautiful colorway, and I had so much fun working on this. This pattern is the Angelus Novus by Renee Callahan, and it is inspired by the painting titled the same way by Paul Klee. So it's just a really unique construction. You can see here, it looks like I'm working on a shawl, and it does start that way, that it was a garter tab, and then it continues to expand like a normal shawl. But at the end, you go and create shoulders, and then create a front section and add sleeves, and it becomes a cardigan. And at the point that I'm showing here, I obviously am not fully to that section, but you can see there's the back shoulder, and then the front. I'm working currently on the front shoulder, the front section, and then you do the reverse on the other side. It's just crazy construction, but creates a beautiful project in the end. Here I have a bit of weaving for you. Yes, you might notice that there's a little something unusual here. That is a turkey baster, portion of a turkey baster. Anyway, at the back of my warp, because I had a few loose warp threads, and that's what I found as a quick and easy solution to help get the tension right on those. It actually worked really well until the end of the project, so I can't complain. It was an easy solution. I'm working on my 20-inch knitter's loom. This is an Ashford rigid heddle loom that is made where it can fold in the middle in order to be portable. It's a great loom. I love the weaving width. It's just wide enough to do a little bit more than just table runners, placemats, some of the smaller items, but it's not so overwhelmingly wide that, at least for me at this stage in my weaving, where I'm still fairly amateur, it's a great weaving width that gives me some options. This project that I'm working on is a poncho. Actually, it's yardage to make a poncho, and I'm doing a clasped weft. So you can see there that I'm taking the colored yarns, that's a yarn dyed by Mystery Mouse, and I'm using the colored yarn to wrap around the natural colored yarn there, or the lighter color. It's actually a light gray. That was Ella Ray Rustic Lace that I'm using in the light gray. And it created this really fun pattern. As you can see, each time that I pass, I wrap the yarns around each other, and then I have to set the length or the distance that I want each of those drops that you can kind of see where they're going to be placed and what they're going to look like. I don't always put in videos of my sewing. It's a harder angle to catch to see what I'm doing, but in this one in particular, I'm sewing a binding on a quilt for our third oldest son, who just graduated high school last spring. It's so exciting to see your kids accomplish major things, and our oldest graduated from his master's program in the spring, and then our third oldest graduated high school. So we got to celebrate two big moments this past spring. The quilt that I'm working on was a hexagon quilt that was a lot of fun to put together, but for some reason it took me so much longer than I had anticipated. So it was nice to finally get to a point where I was finally binding it, and he loved it. He did move to Arizona to live with his brother in September, so he was able to take his quilt with him, which just made me incredibly happy to know that he was taking a bit of home with him and a little bit of my love. My next weaving project is on my floor loom. This is a 4-shaft floor jack loom that I was able to refurbish and get back up and running again. I've shown this project before. This is not the first time that this is appearing on my vlog, but I did want to demonstrate that I've continued to put work into this project. I'm weaving yardage that I intend to turn into a jacket for myself. So it's not a very wide weaving width, but the thought is that it will become panels that I hope to sew into a jacket. The project I'm knitting on here in the car is the Antrim shawl. I'd heard about this on the Ruth Loves to Knit podcast and thought it was a fun looking project and was so excited to get to use my yarn that I've dyed here called Quetzal along with Mornings at 7. Turned out beautiful. One additional trip we took in 2024 was to Puerto Rico and the US Virgin Islands, and I didn't want to miss sharing some of those images as well with you all because it was such a fun trip. It was my husband and I and our daughter, and my husband was stationed in Puerto Rico before I met him, so getting to go see it with him and a little bit through his eyes was so much fun. We did travel out to St. Thomas and St. John, and by far our favorite spot was Cinnamon Bay in St. John. It was amazing. It was so gorgeous. And then we also had the opportunity, my daughter and I, to take in a surfing lesson back in Puerto Rico. It was a lot of fun. Overall, the trip was just incredible and a great time together and getting to see another beautiful place on this lovely planet. Thank you all so much for joining me today. It's been good to be back here. I am so thankful that you joined me. I hope you found something inspiring or interesting or exciting for yourself. And in the process, I just am really thankful that you've stopped by to say hello and check in with me again. So be sure to leave a comment. I am going to do a special giveaway at the beginning of the year here because I just thank you so much for coming back and joining me. You guys are such an encouragement to me and I love being able to share with you. So I have a Sock Adventure subscription that I do on a monthly basis. This is a monthly yarn sock set subscription. It's called Sock Adventures and it's on sweetmountaincrafts.com. I'll have a link in the show notes. But every month I dye up a yarn or a sock set, which is a main skein along with a mini skein that you can knit socks out of. I have 3 fingering weight bases and 1 DK weight base. All the details are online, so I'll let you go there to look at them. But I happen to have 1 sock adventure left over from June of 2024. And because I have this all packaged up and ready to go, I want to share this one with one of you. I don't know which base this is in this sock set, in this sock adventure, but it does have all the other goodies. Lots of times what I do when I send out a sock adventure is I put other fun stuff in with it. So the sock set comes as the set plus other little bonuses, little notions or something for you. And from this month's set, one of the extras was a knitting pattern that I've put in there that I designed for Wyoming Yarn and Fiber. So you'll get that, and along with it you get one of my stories. The story is all about my main character, Olana, a girl that lives in the mountains, and the story kind of gives the inspiration for the yarn and the colorway that I dye. So it's just kind of a fun little story to tell of the sock adventure and where it came from. Anyway, this is going to be available as a giveaway prize on this vlog. So be sure to leave me a message. Maybe tell me one of your ambitions for 2025 in your making life. If you leave me a message down below, any of the comments that are left, I will include any of those comments in the giveaway drawing, unless you add a little note that you're not interested in the giveaway. Otherwise, I hope you're doing well. I hope you have a wonderful 2025, and thank you so much again for being here and supporting me. Have so much fun with your own making. Bye-bye.